up till I'm on top.
Yo, no, I ain't the type to give up. If I do something, man, I do it till I get what I want. I turn a business out of nothing into something I love. I got a poker face, but honestly, I'm not one to bluff. I flip a switch, never miss, man, I always stay up. Don't let them see you, bitch, always have a plan to stay tough. This life ahead of you ain't easy, it was built to be rough. But that's what makes a personality, is tragedy, bruh. So keep your head on your shoulders. Now we ain't out here moving rocks, we out here moving boulders. Now we ain't getting posterized, we out here making posters. And we ain't got nothing to hide, we move forward like soldiers.
What up, and welcome into another installment of Pregaming here on the Sports Money Network. I'm your boy, Mikey Money. I'm here to talk to you guys about some big opportunities to beat the books this evening. I've got to get these banners in. I realized I did not do that, and I was sitting here for a few minutes thinking, I feel like I forgot to do something. That's what it was. No worries. We'll get there in the end. But I've got a bunch of fun things to talk to you guys about tonight. I've got some big trends and angles for us to consider for our betting action. I've got some sharp, respected betting information for us to consider in our betting reports. I've got some cash flow, line movement, split analysis for you guys to consider in the sports betting action this evening. And who knows what else we'll talk about here as the show unfolds. You guys, appreciate you coming in. It is that last hour before we go to bust these books up, and we're going to look at all of the information we need to make informed betting decisions. I'm excited for a couple of these spots to share with you guys tonight. I'm excited about all the spots. Let me recorrect myself here. I'm also excited for the fact that we're just about a week away from UFC 324 starting. That's where the money is made, and it's sad when it's not there, when there's no opportunity for us to get that cash. So very excited for 1 week to go, excited to relaunch First Strike, excited to rebrand some graphics, excited to give a whole new package as we get ready for the 2026 season. I just saw, it got my attention for a second because frankly, I don't know enough about her. But Kate Scott will join the UFC broadcast team and be sitting at the anchor desk for UFC 324. See who this gal is. Let's see what her story is here. Sixers. It can't be the same one. That doesn't look like the same one. Does not look like the same one. I hope it's not the same one. Let's see. I don't think so. Incognito. I just want to know where she came from. That's all. UFC 324. Let's see. She'll debut as the announcer of the promotion's first event streaming. Oh, man. You know that is going to chap up our girl. That ain't going to make her happy whatsoever. She's hosted the broadcast desk alongside Michael Bisping, Dominic Cruz, Chris Weidman. The event featured an interim lightweight. Okay. Really not too much to go on there. Really didn't give us too much. I wonder if this was a CBS force fuck. You know what I mean? Now that you're coming on to the Paramount Network, we're going to make some changes in your broadcast team. And as much as we like Laura Sanko, time for her to go. I hope not. I like Laura Sanko. What's going on here with this thing too? All right. Anyhow, that just came across the pike, so that certainly had my attention. So I'm trying to get just distracted today. Just distracted there. That's better. It's not quite in the view here, you guys, but I've got a whole bunch of action. All right. Ramon Scott says she's from the UK. Doesn't seem like all the pretty women are from the UK. I mean, listen. Don't get me distracted. You guys know how easily I'll chase that squirrel. Is that a double entendre? I don't know. I don't know what's going on right now. I don't know. But I know I'm going to talk to you guys about the Canadians and the Sabres, the Flames and the Blackhawks, the Stars and the Mammoth, and the Leafs and the Knights. Now, I will say this. put together a fun player prop parlay tonight for the NHL. 3 legs, 3 anytime goal scorers. One of the most fun angles in sports. Revenge on your former team. Also, I added a 4th leg to it. So they're like 20, I think it's 21-1. And then it moves to like 45-1, something in that vicinity. So just a quarter unit on the 21-1. And then, a 1/10 of a unit on the big 50-1 spot out there. Thought process being, let's have some fun. It's a 3-leg anytime goal parlay. Then there's the added leg for the 4th leg. That's just an anytime point that goes onto those 3 legs out there. So we could have 3.35 units invested to pick up almost 100 or 75, I guess, as the case may be. So I did put that over on Winnable, and I did share it on the community post tab for silver and gold members. I've updated the silver and gold membership. I appreciate you guys that are coming through, supporting the squad, helping us, frankly, cover some overhead and what we're doing here, trying to bring you guys this programming, this content, all these shows that we do for free. And then, of course, a way to say thank you, giving you guys the premium action out there, the winnable action as well, to silver and gold members during the week, gold members on the weekend. Of course, you can get all my best bets at Winnable free plays as well. So you want to sign up for them text alerts. And I mentioned the free plays because we kicked again with the Instagram play of the day. Now 2 in a row. We had the LA Clippers under 226.5 last night. No sweat. Back-to-back wins. I think it's 9-4 since January 1st. So that's not too bad a run. I mean, I missed one day, I guess, because I put a play out there for today. So I guess I missed one day in the stretch. Wonder what day that was. Anyhow, not a bad run out there for free action for you guys. All you got to do is jump into the Instagram page, go click on the post tab, and you'll see it. I wish more of you did, because we are running hot to trot out there, trying to gain some viewers and spread our wings across the Sports Money Network on Instagram. And we'll see what we're going to take over next as we continue to grow this community and this whole Sports Money Network, SMN, as we're calling it here in the new year. So we got 4 hockey games that we'll talk about. We'll finish off with that Leafs and Knights game. We'll move into college hoops. I've got 3 spots for you over there. It turns out they're all totals today on the Pregaming show. Follow it up with the NBA. I've got 3 plays for you in the NBA. And then the Instagram play of the day. I'll shout it out again. It is out there for you guys to check out right now, but I don't suggest you do it right now. We'll give you a few minutes at the end of the show to make sure you get over there and scope it if you haven't already. Hey, it doesn't cost you anything to go get these free plays, whether you get them over at Winnable. Actually, you probably should sign up both at Winnable for free plays and get the notifications over on the IG side of things, because I do drop some live plays over on the Winnable side of things. And that instantaneous notification that goes out that says, hey, there's a live play, means you're going to get the best line as I drop it, when I drop it. And I'm putting them over there for free. So lots of free content for you guys. Not just content, but plays. We talked about this yesterday. We cap all sports. We cap all cards. We cap everything. That's why we're going to cap the Winter Olympics. We're going to cap women's beach volleyball. We're going to cap fucking darts and surfing. You name it. We're going to look at the data. We're going to look at the analytics, and we're going to see if we're any good at some of these spots. But I know for a fact we could analyze data across all the major sports, come out profitable through 2025. That's exactly what we did. Profit in every single sport, betting every single day. No passes. We're not trying out for fucking football teams here. And we're not quarterbacks. We're here to give actionable intelligence that we can go out there and fire with. And that's what we did last night, you guys. It was a glorious night. So we made some cash. We got in the profit on the Winnable side of things. And we had a glorious night over here on the pre-gaming side of things. So we'll recap as we do. We'll check in and see who's here. Then we'll move on. We'll talk about the 10 plays I've got for you guys on the card this evening. And we'll let everybody get up out of here so we can go about our Thursday evenings. Kind of a strange Thursday with no live show this evening. I was thinking, like, do we have a live show tonight? What day? And then I lost what track of days it was. I guess because we were 18 weeks deep in the NFL season, I just got used to telling what day of the week it was by when we were live for NFL shows. And there's no Thursday night NFL football, but there will be football tomorrow. You can find the Shark and I circling around trying to give you guys the 4 breakdown plays for the divisional round of the NFL. And it will start, I think we're going to go live at 2 p.m. tomorrow. So if you miss it live, not to worry. You'll still be able to go out there and catch it on the replay, and we're going to give it to you guys with plenty of time to catch that action. We went 0-2, I believe, to start Saturday, and then I think we went from there, and we went 6-1 or something like that. It was a pretty solid run from a best betting perspective, so you don't want to miss it. There's going to only be a couple of episodes left before we put that NFL show on hiatus till next year, but it seems like that's a format you guys like. I like doing it. We fire across an hour. Tomorrow, can't imagine it'll be an hour. We got, 4 games to cover? 2 on Saturday, 2 on Sunday. Bills in Denver will pop off as the early game on Saturday. But we'll be live. I think Saturday evening will give us an opportunity to get back here, get back in, get the dust blown off the cameras and production equipment so we can get ready for the big UFC 324 show that pops off. Some big changes in the formatting, the lineup, the personnel, the panel, the whole thing. We're changing it all up top to bottom for you guys, but we're still looking to give you guys winning action. So, nasty motherfucking eats a shark was on the Patriots. Well, I think the Patriots smashed. Did they not, Nasty Nate? All right, you guys, look at last night. 2 losses didn't go our way. Auburn lost outright to Missouri. Okay. 84-74. They were never really in the game to begin with. It was just a beatdown. So, man, you know what? I was kind of touting Auburn and saying maybe this is a team that we can start to get bets on where they're going to start becoming big favorites. They still got a little growing up to do in their own right. And then that Fordham and St. Louis game with the intersecting zeros, they added the last college football or college basketball game. No good. But we cashed everything else, literally. The under 147.5 in the Cincinnati, Colorado game. 135 was the total. So we smoked that thing by double digits. The under 222.5 in the Toronto game. 116 total. We beat that thing by 6.5 points. The under 6 in the Seattle and New Jersey Devils game. We got that thing done. 3-2 final with the Devils. The Buffalo Sabres beat the Philadelphia Flyers. That was my birthday present to MMA Jeff. I told him I was going to add that play for him. Give him a winner in that game, and that's exactly what we did. And then the Vegas Golden Knights took down the LA Kings. That was just too good a spot. Can't wait to talk about the Vegas Golden Knights game here this evening. Denver Nuggets get to +2.5 against that Dallas Mavericks team who finds themselves on the second leg of a back-to-back. Ironically, the Utah Jazz at +4.5. Get that cover. That was the close your nose and bet it stink shit play of the day out there, and we got it. So that was a big win for us. Let's see what else. Temple +8. Fuck Temple. National primetime game. Ranked or tops in the conference with an unbeaten streak going on their first conference road game out there. Well, they lost 55-53, but they covered the +8 for us. And that's how you generate with of course, the Instagram play of the day, free play action. Really a 9-2 day out there for almost 7 units of growth in the bankroll. Looking for those types of days. Need to get more of those days on deck. We kind of started off a little sluggish to kick off the year. So looking forward to growing and grinding as we continue to rock these bankrolls and beat these bookies together. You guys, listen, it's that time of the show. We're going to check in. We're going to see who's here. So get your best bets in the chat. Before we get rolling, though, make sure you smash that thumbs up button. I've updated our silver and gold members. I want to say thank you guys that have joined us in the new year and showing some support to the Sports Money Squad. Yeah, trying to give you guys extra picks. But it means a lot that you guys take some time to park it here with us, myself included here, 6 p.m. as we get that last look to try to beat the books. So if you haven't done so, hit that thumbs up and let everyone know we're here doing this thing. Seemed like a shit run. Maybe it was on my side. That's right. Also, I'd be remiss not to mention that it looks like Harbaugh is going to close in on a $100 million contract over 5 years to coach the New York Football Giants. New York Football Giants. I wish he was on the Jets. He's going to be facing the NFC East and the Dallas Cowgirls, the Philadelphia Eagles, and the Washington Redskins. I believe the Redskins name will come back next year. That is my early prognostication. We will see if that comes to fruition. I think, who was I thinking about? I had a spot that I wanted to play for a NFL Super Bowl bet, but I'm okay at this time because you only got a couple weeks to wait till the Super Bowl, a month or so. So you got 4 weeks. And if you can catch a +5 or +600 with 4 weeks of sitting on your money, not so bad. Those clowns that start betting in preseason, I just don't see the ROI. You got too much risk. Yeah, if you caught the right spot, you bet a big, Dodgers bettors early in the preseason there. They're betting the Dodgers to win. Well, you're not getting shit for a return on your investment, and you tied that money up all year. So you can put that money in a CD and get a better return on your investment than that. Plus, at least with the CD, there's no risk involved. You never know if the Dodgers are going to be the team that gets it done, albeit though their bankroll, their salary, their bankroll management is something to be said. But let's go, you guys. Shout out to Redbeard. Shout out to Nicholas Handy. Shout out to Scott. It's his great call on Nick Taylor. He's off to a huge start. I did release 2 plays for you guys, both on the community post tab and at Winnable. And I gave you guys Nick Taylor as a top, I think he was a top 20 pick, but he was a +185 for the old sailor Nick Taylor. And guess what he's doing? Beat the shit out of everybody. That is the correct answer. He is sitting in first place at 8 under. He's tied with Kevin Roy. Now, I did give you guys Robert McIntyre. Bobby Mack missed the cut at +300. He is currently 21st overall. I venture to say our friend has Robert Mack to do something on the winnable side of things. So we'll see if he's going to make the cut or not. But he closed off on a little bit of a rut there to go 3 under. So at the very least, we're looking pretty strong to get that thing kicked off. I appreciate you shouting that out, Scott. Let's go. T-Smooth. Let's get it. OG beat Bo Jackson. This is cash with the Bulls and Pelicans last night. Blake M's here. Andrew K says, nice Denver pick last night. Mikey Money. Let's go. AJ says, good evening, sports money. Great call on the Clippers and under. Ramon's telling me that she is. There's a couple of them over there on their soccer programming, I thought. Ramon, interesting. Listen. Hot chicks and Mortal Kombat. What else could you expect other than cocktails? Mix some cocktails in there. And that's what you'll get with us to cover that gap that they're missing with the UFC. Redbeard says Cash Magic -5 earlier today. Let's go. Nicholas Handy says no Megan O'Leary. No Laura Senko either. Stop Geoengineering's here. Redbeard likes the Pistons team total over 112.5. I put the post out there for you guys to get the Instagram play of the day. Nasty Nate shouting out Shark about being on the Patriots, the Pats. Will the Pats smash again? Irish King 97 says NBA was easy work last night. Vegas LA Kings overtime got 5 plays in both tonight, NHL and NBA. Scott says he loves the Bruins against the Kraken. Seattle has an awful record. I'm back half of back-to-backs. Peter Grassi is here checking in. AOD's checking in. Dana Delp's checking in. Appreciate all you guys here. Let's get this thing kicked off on my side. Keep dropping your plays in the chat. I'll make sure to shout them out as we get rolling. Let's kick it off. We start as we always do in the NHL. In the second leg of a back-to-back, be it those Buffalo Sabres after that big win against the Philadelphia Flyers. Flyers kind of free-falling back down to form. By the way, I told you guys yesterday I had a little situation on the side. I wasn't joking. I got the Band-Aid off. I mean, does that look infected? I don't know. Feels it. I told you it was bad, man. Told you it was bad. Wasn't pussyfooting around. And it fucking broke like this. So the knuckles twice the size it should be. Man. But it's got no Band-Aid on it today. It's got no bad. It's gross looking, isn't it? That gross looking? Fucking gross. Ah. Goalies kicking it off this evening. I mean, I only noticed that because I banged it on the side of the fucking keyboard here. But look at it. Here's the situation. Buffalo's been red hot. I think they're 13-2 now in their last 15 games. Philadelphia Flyers, 6-7-4 is Erson out there. Vladar couldn't get the job done. And now this fucking guy gets hurt. This is what Philadelphia does to goaltenders. And you're sitting there going, well, talking about the Sabres game, what does it have to do with Philadelphia Flyers? Well, first of all, you need to know everything has to do with Philadelphia. Everything comes back to Philadelphia. Shouldn't surprise you. It's the birthland of America. The original national capital. Signing of the Declaration. It all comes back to Philadelphia. But anyhow, when it goes to this Buffalo Sabres squad and you move on up to the 7-1-6, they're going to punt this game. Or they're going to do their best, I guess, when it comes down to it. They don't need this game. Maybe in their heads they don't need this game. Maybe they're just trying to stretch out the carousel that is the revolving roulette wheel of goalies and the injury factors that they've been dealing with on their own right. Jukka-Pekka Luukkonen comes back last night, plays a pretty solid game, but they're going to go to Colton Ellis, third stringer extraordinaire. And by that, I mean lack thereof. 3.1 goals against average. Montreal is going to continue their three-headed rotation as well with Fowler. Fowler, 21 years old, rookie in the NHL, and playing phenomenal at a 2.45 goals against average. So herein lies the challenge. Sabres win last night. They're showing us punt formation with this goaltender. They're 14-2 in their last 16 games. They got 3 weeks to push before the Olympic break. And well, it's just my estimation that that's exactly what they're doing here with this game. They're going to tip their hand to us. They're going to say we're the unrested team and we're not a favorite. And so what does that mean in terms of the sports almanac? That means you fade these teams here. When you're the rested visiting short favorite, you're 334 and 202 over the long haul. Now you could argue and say, well, you're just trying to time when Buffalo's going to lose. Is that a hair? Oh my fucking keep seeing something floating. Keep seeing it floating. But listen, trying to look at the scheduling spot and kind of what's on deck here. They still got a home game left. That's going to be Saturday against Minnesota. That's the early one before they go out on Monday for a Monday afternoon game, the Martin Luther King holiday extravaganza that the NHL likes to roll out there for an afternoon start. But this is where they've got one game left before they go on a 6-game, I think it's 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5-game road trip. So they're getting their pieces in order before they get ready to play a couple of afternoon matinee spots and then get in the crutch of it with Nashville, a rematch at Montreal, New York Islanders, Toronto, and that'll bring them back home. So I think this is the punt favorites between -110 and -230. That 230 line is important because we talk about teams should not be valued over 230 in any right circumstance, way, shape, or form. But if they're between that 110 and 230, they've won 6 in a row. Maybe it's a little chalky. Maybe it's a little square. But it's a fair price tag here to jump in and take this Les Habitants. The Habitants, -125. Montreal Canadiens. The Habs. Whatever it is you want to call them. That's the way we're going to kick this thing off. There's MMA Locker Room. Says, I think today, the best today is no bet. I'd give you plenty of them here. I think this is a great bet. MMA Locker Room. What's up, Mills? Hope you're doing well. Robert McCormick says, good evening and best of luck. Stop Gio says, good luck on your bets tonight, my people. Thank you for the show, brother Mikey. Appreciate you, man. Let's go. Shout out to you guys, man. Detroit basketball says AOD. What's the fuck? Thanks, Smoking Mirrors. Says, pretty sure it's not a hair. It's not my hair. I know that. And Bo Jackson likes the Mavs money line here. Let's keep her moving, you guys. On to game number 2, the Calgary Flames, the Chicago Blackhawks. And this, to me, I don't want to be involved in the Blackhawks when they're a favorite. Maybe you argue that they're a favorite for a reason, and I guess I could understand that. You know, Connor Bedard's back in the lineup with this team. They're inconsistent, and this typically happens when star players come back. They're trying, think about it, especially the first line. You bring somebody up from the second line, somebody has to come up from the third line to replace the second line, somebody has to come up for the fourth line to replace the third line. You got to switch the chemistry around. Sometimes the left winger goes over to the right wing side of things. So when you bring that first player, number one guy from the first line back in the lineup, it just disrupts. It's like a cascading effect. It's like a waterfall. Kind of fucks up all the lines. And so they're in win one, lose one mode. They lost 5-1. They win 3-0 in a shutout. What happens after a team wins by a shutout? They get busted up. They lost 4-1 to the Edmonton Oilers. That was their first game back. Weird scheduling spot. They had a 3-game homestand. They went 2-1. They go on the road against the Predators. They shut them out 3-0 to come back home against the Edmonton Oilers and lose 4-1. And I think this is that little streaky spot where we start to find value in fading this Chicago Blackhawks team right now. They're young, kind of at that point where they've played more games than they have in the rest of their lives in terms of the frequency of the matchups. And it even compounds things more with the fact that they've got to stuff all of these games in for the NHL Olympic break that comes in here. Lots of games will be 3 days and 4 nights type of situations and spots out there. The Flames, lucky number 5. This is their 5th straight road game. You know what I like to do in those 5 spots. I don't know what this number has to do with the universe as it relates to sports betting, but it always seems to find itself a nice little home out there. And they're looking at bouncing back. They beat the Penguins. They lose to the Blue Jackets. That Blue Jackets team is feisty, man. They are fighters. They are goal scorers. They like to go out there and pounce, and it was a 5-3 spot. They lost. They put up 3 goals. Problem with the Flames right now, and this is where the under could really be a strong look, to me has a lot to do with their boom or bust. Like they're scoring 1 goal, albeit they scored 2 to win against Pittsburgh and then 3 against Columbus in recent form. So are they starting to find the back of the net or not is the ultimate question. But we look at the ultimate derivative. Now listen, they're going to start Spencer Knight. Chicago Blackhawks are going to go back to their beast. He's got a 2.63 goals against average. Lost in that game against the Edmonton Oilers. So you got a guy that's 2.62, 3-1-1 over a 5-game stretch. Can he avenge that loss, or do we buy into this time to start fading these guys that need a little bit of rest, a little bit of a break as they get ready for this all-star team? The Calgary Flames, they've lost 5 of their last 6 as well. So now enter the price tag. Should the Chicago Blackhawks be this big a favorite? Should they be a favorite, period? Word on the street, beat reporters talking about the illness floating around the locker room. And it's not only then Connor Bedard that has said illness. So I think this is just a buy low spot for the Calgary Flames. I mean, they suck. Yeah, I get it. They're not playing the best hockey they can. But I think that the positive here is they might have found something in this Cooley guy behind the pipes there, between the pipes. 2-0 in his last 2 games. He stepped 94% save percentage. All the metrics for this guy point up as opposed to the way that he started the season out there. And the Calgary Flames can't lose forever. So those aforementioned reasons, though, I don't want to take the Blackhawks in the favorite role, especially over the next 3 weeks. This is a big push. They'll have themselves, 60 games or so by the time they get back from the All-Star or from the Olympic break. So by the time the Olympic, now some of these guys for the Olympic break are going to be playing a lot more hockey than they did anyway. So that rest factor will forego, but you got to think about these guys that come from the QMJHL or the OHL, or they play college hockey. And I've said this multiple times. They're used to at most 60 game seasons. So when you're getting to 60 games and you're doing it in less than a season's time, there's a lot of learning that goes into that process. And then you just kind of get mentally fatigued. And that's kind of where I envision the Chicago Blackhawks here as I look at my crystal ball over the next 3 weeks. We're going to try to find plenty of opportunities to fade them. But specifically, I want to be in the fade business when they are a plus money opportunity on the other side. So that's the way we're going to kick this game in the face. Let's move her on to the Dallas Stars and the Utah Mammoth. Kind of a similar situation here with this Dallas Stars team. At what point do they find this bubble burst and they get themselves back on the winning side of things here? They've got Jake Ottinger that will start in goal. Otter, I mean, he's one of their best guys they've got going out there. 24 of 25 saves the other evening. But they're not scoring goals. And that's a problem. 2-4-2 over their last 8 games when it comes down to it. And the Utah Mammoth just busted up. They just beat up that Toronto Maple Leafs team. Now, I think if there is ever a buy low situation in a total scoring aspect of the game, it comes to a team that just played out of Colorado. We talked about this yesterday. The second leg, whether you played in Colorado and now you're playing in Utah, you're an automatic fade. Or if you just played in Utah and now you're playing in Colorado, automatic fade. So yeah, I can suspect this is a lot to do with why we saw that beatdown of the Toronto Maple Leafs. I thought the Maple Leafs would get it done. I think they're in kind of a buy mode situation here. But the benefit for us with this Dallas Stars team is they haven't played at altitude yet, elevation. Now, you look at their schedule, they're going to dodge that proverbial. But West Coast teams have a little bit of an advantage when it comes to that doubleheader, Utah versus Colorado, because they're playing in that division a little bit more frequently, or conference more frequently. So they don't have to stack them like they do when these East Coast teams come over and get ripped up, as we saw the Toronto Maple Leafs go down and crush a monster 27 straight winning streak for Colorado Avalanche. Favorites up to that minus 230 price tag. Winners, winners, and winners. And here comes Toronto, punches them in the mouth. So that being said, though, I looked at the total of this game. I don't want to get involved in the side. I think that I think it's overreaction to what Utah just did. It's that second leg at elevation. And that's not the case for this game here. They've got a strong goaltender in Vejmelka. Can't believe I'm saying that, but he's got a 2.58 goals against average. He's got a 4-game winning streak. Probably it's a good spot for Utah to come out there and win against this Dallas team. But if they do, I think it's a 3-1 type affair. You know, Dallas, 27, 11, and 9, but 2, 4, and 4 in their last 10. So definitely a buy low spot on the Dallas Stars side of things here. I don't want to get involved in that business on the side. I mean, what are you going to do? You got to take, at this point, you got to take a regulation play. And we've talked about what the regulation plays do or don't do for us out there. There's a ton of overtimes happening across the NHL. And so you're going to be at a disadvantage. You're putting yourself behind the odds of winning. Now, the Stars are a plus 115. So if you want to pick them up as a dog, I respect it. I respect the under more in this game to me. This is the spot that I jumped in on. Was a low scoring affair, 3-1 type of final. To me, it doesn't matter who wins. Kind of the line suggests it's not going to be Dallas that wins now, though, huh? Wonder who's out of this game. Let me look real quick. Not that it should matter too much. Let's see. Wow, fuckers. All right. Anyhow, I'm going to take this under. I don't have the screen up that's going to show me who's in or who's out for this game. So I just think this is a lower scoring affair. Overreaction to what we just saw that last game around. There's a couple spots that I kind of feel like in this position out there. Bo Jackson says, Matt, Peter Grassi says, I live in New England, but watch out for Houston. Defense is sleepy good. But CJ should be the Achilles heel. I think it was Houston that I was looking at, thinking with the shit start that he had, and they still were able to win that game. People might be sleeping on him. Kelly V says, the road stinks. Calgary stinks wherever they play. Bo Jackson says, the Mavs win. I don't think the Stars win. You know what's funny about that? As I was looking at the card today, I saw Dallas, Utah. So if you like the Utah Mammoth, go ahead and take the Utah Jazz. And if you like the Dallas Stars, go ahead and take the Dallas Mavericks. There's your little same city parlay. I would be inclined to go with the Dallas side of things, not the Utah side of things here. And then last but not least, here's going to be a tricky spot, you guys. This is not cut and dry, go out there and fire on this Vegas team at home. I want to. We just caught the win, but the problem is they're at a rest disadvantage. And so you look at it and say, well, Toronto just played the second leg of a back-to-back at elevation, Colorado, then Toronto, then Utah. But they had the day's rest in between. And then you've got injury issues again with the Vegas Golden Knights goaltending here. 1-0-2 is Aiden Hill. Joseph Woll will be the guy that goes in there at 11-4. Hildeby, they telegraphed us that Toronto loss in hindsight. It was just too bullheaded to see it because they punted with Hildeby and they kept him in there. They had a 10-point streak going, 8-0-2, the Toronto Leafs. They have fired back. They are bouncing. Now, whether or not they can sustain this, I do believe, I think Toronto's an Eastern Conference final team this year in the NHL, despite what they've done and the moves they made with Mitchie Marner. Now, Wall's 7-0-1 in his last 8 games. He's got a 2.53 goals against average. He is just trucking along. He is the constant when he's in there. He is a strong goaltender, and I believe gives him the advantage. We saw the Vegas Golden Knights just have a divisional game against the Los Angeles Kings last night. And if that wasn't insult to injury, the game went to overtime. So you don't have to push me too hard to get me to the Toronto Maple Leafs. In fact, if I shared with you a 14-game winning streak, would that be enough to push you over the edge and get you on Toronto with me as well? Because when Toronto has this rest advantage against a team that does not have the rest advantage, they are 14 straight wins. They are 25-3. And if you put a high total on it, they've won 6 in a row. They're 9-1 in their last 10. The counter narrative here is I like Mitch Marner to score a goal. We talked about this live. Anytime a player has an immediate rematch against his former team, you want to take it. We talked about McDavid the other night, his birthday. All he could muster up was 2 assists. No correlation. But these players that go and face their former team fire. And so this comes to the problem. I want to take both teams to score in the first period. I do. That's been gold for us here because, you know, the over 1.5 for the first period, I mean, they're getting juicy with Vegas. It's such a continual run that we know it's good money, but what do you want to lay at $1.40? Is that good money for you still at that point? To me, before I laid that $1.40, I would either take both teams to score or I would jump on the Toronto Maple Leafs to win the first period plus 106. Then I would look for Vegas to potentially win. Well, I don't want to say win from behind, but I like Marner to score a goal. I think he's got a nice price tag. And if you look at my goal scoring prop parlay that I put out there, Marner is one of the legs behind it. So, look, don't believe it. Lawton played the Flyers the other night. Guess what he did? Scored a goal. Happens. Former team. Time and again, especially the first time back out there. So you got to give it some consideration. Marner, anytime goal right now, you can catch him at plus 260. I mean, I don't know. You got to decide if the over 1.5 in the first period makes sense for you guys or not. But I think this one makes a lot of sense there. Take some Marner action. Want to take him just to get a point? Fine. Go get a point with Marner. Let's see what that looks like here. See if I can pop that. Did I just close the tab out? Did I just close it out? It's his first game against his former team. You got to give some credence to it. And, with Vegas being in this back-to-back situation, probably a situation where they're going to give up some goals. So let's see here. Why can't I ever find what I'm looking for when I'm trying to find it? Anybody ever notice that? Oh, I know. Stop being stupid. Take it off of goals and move it to points. Oh, there it is. Where'd he go? Yeah, look at this fucking guy. You want an indication this guy's going to do something tonight. His anytime point is minus 255. So you got to take 2+ to get in the realm of profit. I'd parlay Toronto to win with a Marner goal too. Why not? There's some fucking looks for you guys in this game. Toronto win the first period. Both teams to score in the first period. Marner to score a goal. And Toronto to win the game. But my official play for you guys, I think that game's got a lot of fun written all over it. It's got potential to be dirty, grimy. Potential state. You know what? Well, I'm talking about Toronto being the Eastern Conference finalist. Why not Vegas be a Western Conference finalist? That team's fucking stacked and loaded for bear. I think there's some great ways to fire. It'd be fun to watch that game. It's going to be a late night special for you guys. Redbeard says Houston's the spot. Drake May next year. Redbeard says first period over. A little pricey, but I like it. Kelly V says that was Joe overs. Vegas over 1.5 first period. Definitely worthy of parlay. Kelly V says over 2 can bet. 2 would push. Another option. Yeah, I would lean to both teams to score. We did not get our both teams to score spot last night. Or both teams not to score. They ended up both teams fucking scoring. So Fuck, what are you going to do? Let's move into some college hoops really quick, you guys. Keep this show on the road. I got a couple of looks for you here. And the first one has to do with the teams that I think will battle. And I talked to you earlier about Green Bay. You've heard a lot of people talking about Gottlieb and the turnaround that he's running with the program. Last year, they were trying to call the guy out of town, wanted to lynch him up by his shoestrings. This year, they're putting this guy in a capacity of potential rebuilder. So you have to give some credence to what he's doing out there. And look, big lofty favorite to open up at -4.5. Cleveland State, on the other hand, open at 4.5 dogs. They're down to 2.5s out there. 50-50 as far as the betting's concerned. But 60% of the sharper bets here, more money coming in on this Green Bay side of things, despite the fact the numbers come down. I think it's late buy-in. I think this is a battle. I think this game's got overtime potential written all over it between these two teams. Cleveland's going to want to dictate pace as the home squad. More than capable of keeping it competitive here. Look, 2-3 at home against the spread. Green Bay 6-5 against the spread on the road. But I'm looking at these totals and I'm seeing like Cleveland at home. Yeah, they're 9-6 to the over. This is what it comes down to. These Horizon League schools, I like to get involved in the overs. Cleveland State just had a battle, 94-84 against Detroit. And that was on the road. Almost got the outright W. Easy over out there. And an over against Oakland, depending on the number that you got. So they play a shit team in Fort Worth, IPFW. I don't know what happened there. I mean, they were 10.5 point dogs. They lost by 3, Cleveland, but I lean to the Green Bay side in this game. Thing about this Green Bay team is they're 3-2 to the over in their last 5. They're putting points on the board. Look to them to get an 80 pack. I think their team total is priced right at 80.5. So with an 80.5 price tag, we got a total that's 49.5 have moved to 150.5, despite 55% of the bets and 55% of the cash being on the under. It's moved a point. And Cleveland State's the 80.5. I think they're kind of scripting us this one here. I think they're saying this is going to be a fast-paced tempo. Lots of 3-point shots being made. Get your own shot if you're going to stand around the rim because you are getting wet with this thing. And I like the total. I'm going to go with the over 149.5. If you can only get 150.5, get another book. There's a lot of 149.5s out there. Bo Jackson. Oh, Kelly V says another Vegas overtime game at 2 goals in regulation. Yeah. Bo Jackson might add the Boston Bruins money line to the parlay. Dustin's in the house. Nick Roy, former Knight. There you go. Kelly V says over 2. You were talking about that first period over. I like it. I like this over in this game. I told you guys I got all totals. I like the over in this game too. William and Mary. Now this is a couple things. I think that they're telegraphing us with this game, the over. William and Mary's kind of been lying in the weeds, complacent. Where's this game? Let me find it here really quick. Sorry. Oh, fuck. I was at the grocery store earlier today and I was checking out and I go, oh, fuck. And the checkout girl looks at me and she goes, what'd you forget? I was like, you must hear that a lot. She's like, yep, that same exact face. Oh, fuck. Where'd it go? There it is. -13.5, so moved to -14.5. Huge favorites for Bill and his girl Mary. 67% of the bet, 64% of the cash came in on the NCA&T side of things here. And despite this total opening at 160.5, 84% of the bets, 84% of the cash have come in on the under. They moved it to 162.5. They are screaming to you guys, stay away from this over. Stay away from this over. And you break it down, you start looking at it. Here's the thing. William and Mary plays pretty strong football or basketball at home. Excuse me. Yikes. Football. Do they even have a football team? I think it's FCS, right? Ramon Scott would know. He's the FCS whisperer. But they are 5-0 against the spread at home. A team that likes to go out there and run and gun. They're coming off of back-to-back overs. Those were all road game spots, and they lost all three of them. They lost to Charleston, 88-79. They lost to Monmouth, 81-70. They lost to Drexel, 64-58. And that's where I think you get the opportunity, because NCA&T is a team that can put points up themselves. They like to run fast. Granted, they don't win, but they cover the spread. So I stayed off of the spread in this game. I just thought you've got NCA&T comes in here 4-1 in their last 5 against the number. William and Mary comes in here 0-3 in their last 3 against the number. And it's now showing you 13.5s. Probably a good spot, but I don't trust William and Mary enough to get into there. I just thought to myself, with this total on the reverse line movement side of things, there are some bigger bettors coming in there, and they are betting on this over. And so I think that's because there's not a lot of belief system in William and Mary's defense. And if that means that's the case, then NCA&T very much could be a live dog despite being 0-4 in the CAA. I think William and Mary rolls on, though. I think this game sees points, and I'm going to take the over as we go to the last game in the college basketball card for you guys. Let's see. Utah, Markkinen is out. Kelly V says NBA stars out. Nick's got Brunson out. Dallas Flag probably out. I think Flag plays. I think that line movement tells you that Flag's going to play. We'll get to that game here in just a second, but I like the rest of the updates there. Utah with Markkinen out. Andrew K says maybe Clarkson over points with Brunson out. Blake M says 2-leg Queens plus 2.5 and Oakland minus 2.5. Okay. I like that Oakland spot. Blake. Kelly V says, well, wait, what did you forget? Did you go back and get it or say F it? Andrew K says, VMI plus 4.5 halftime winner says, let's go. Kelly V says they've been great covering. Yeah, it's a hell of a cover team. It's just a lot of points now. It's just a ton of points. It screams that they let down. To me, it screams they let down early and often. And anyhow, I got to play for you guys in this game. It's going to follow alignment with the Sharp Respected Betting report. Sharp Respected Bettors came in and jumped on a couple of spots as far as the sides are concerned today. Let's see if I liked any of them. No. In fact, I'm against them. But it's the Instagram play of the day. So you got to go check that out. And then the one spot they came in with on the side was the under in this game. UC Riverside, Long Beach and Riverside, both two sloppy teams coming into this thing. And sloppy meets sloppy generally tends to be sloppy outcome. I'm not going to put my neck on the line by saying that out there. This line opened at 5.5 for Riverside. It has come down 40% of the bets, but 51% of the cash have jumped in on this Riverside action. It's an ugly game. It's a late night game, and it just, for me, it follows the SRP. We got 3 straight unders on the Riverside side of things here. Riverside struggles to get themselves out of the mid-60s as far as points. And so they're putting a total on this thing where they're hanging 141.5. And then if you look at the Long Beach side of things, they're kind of a 60s team as well when it comes to total points being scored. So I just thought this is 10 points too many. Now you're fading into the wind here because low totals, non-conference, medium road dogs. That's kind of this place. Low totals meaning it's not over like a 160, right? They're not expecting like a Texas Bama type of game. You're 378 and 278 to the over, but I'm going to flip the script in this one. I think both these teams struggle to get out of the 60s. In fact, I think probably the first team to get to 70 wins this game, and I don't think they get many more points over that number. So the fact that we're sitting here with a spot in our face at 140, you can get 142.5 right now. DraftKings number. Take it and run with it. If you're like the rest of us can only get 141.5, then plenty of fine for me. Let's take it. Let's try to cash this thing. And let's move on to the NBA. I got a 3-pack over in the NBA for you guys. We're getting right up against it, right up against the line here. Let's talk some cash flow splits. Let's talk about a big trend in this game. Now, of course, we know the Spurs are going to probably win the NBA championship. They'll be the Western Conference Finals, right? We can book that. But we have to take a look at it. And some of you guys are like, what do you mean you can? I told you before. Teams that are runners up in the NBA Cup have found themselves in the NBA championship games. So book it. Now we got the Bucks open at 7.5. A little bit of movement back against them. Not true movement because it's juiced to the -7, but 53% of the bets and 56% of the cash have come in on the Milwaukee Bucks. Then we see this totals come down from 226 to 224.5, and you have 82% of the bets on the over, 79% of the cash on the over. Huge buying on scores. I'm going to tell you why this game goes under, and under is, in fact, the play that I'm making. When you look at these spots, we look at the Spurs, we look at the situation, we look at these teams. Yeah, look, Spurs. Night's rest after taking on OKC, struggled to get to 100 points. In fact, they're hovering around that 105 range, kind of their MO right now. You look at it, 98 against OKC, 103 against Minnesota, 100 against that soft-ass Boston Celtics team, 107 against the Lakers. That was a win, by the way, 107-91, 105 against Memphis. Bucks, same thing. 105 against the Lakers, 104 against the Nuggets, 106 against the Timberwolves. So on the surface, both these teams in current form, and you don't want to let recency bias get you, so let's talk a bigger picture. After the Bucks allow 124 or more points, what do you think they tend to do? Given their personnel, their schemes, and their situation, are they apt to go out there and say, all right, let's just go meet fire with fire? Or do you think they kind of ratchet it up and play a little defense? It's a trick question. I'll give you the answer. They ratchet it up and play defense. After they allowed 124 or more points, they are a perfect 8-0 to the under. 8 straight unders after allowing 124 points. Relevant because you look at their recent game, and that's exactly where they sat. Bucks on the road on a losing streak against the spread are 14-5 to the under as well. You've cashed 10 straight spots in that situation. So despite all that cash coming in on the over, I think we can get ourselves to the under. Kelly B says grocery store, question mark. Dude, it's nasty looking. Look at the size of it. Look how it is in relation to that middle knuckle. Takes up the whole fucking thing. Dude, look. It's not a little ouchy. I need a little fucking butterfly Band-Aid and a little kiss on it. But anyhow, the Utah Jazz and the Dallas Mavericks. I told you, Dallas for me, and I'm going with Dallas in this game here, especially if Lauri Markkanen's out. I kind of feel like we figured out the situation for this Dallas team as far as their schedule is concerned. They had that shit let down against the Chicago Bulls. We closed our nose and took that stinky baby diaper full of banana with the Jazz last night. And yet 64% of the bets and 58% of the cash have come in on the Jazz. Here's why I said I think flag plays. Now we'll see. But it went from 2.5 to 3.5. So they're giving you more points to take the Utah Jazz with all the money coming in. To me, that's indicative of the fact that that player they thought wasn't going to play is coming back in. Totals come down from 239.5 to 237.5. 69% of the bets and 64% of the cash are on the over in this game. And I just think this is a great spot to jump in on Dallas. Look, I'm going to lay the 3.5. It's -106. Doesn't mean it's a 4-unit play. It just has one of those reverse situational spots for me here where the Jazz, after that big win, I mean, look, we saw this team get blown up by 50.5 the other day. We then fired back in on them. Wrong team favored. They showed us the wrong team was favored. Then we backed it up against Hightown. They've been cashing. They've been good to us. They're 4-1 in their last 5, but this is not quite immediate, but bounce back revenge opportunity for the Dallas Mavericks. They played at Utah at elevation. Dallas lost 116-114. They were getting 5 points. Utah Jazz were getting 5 points. Now, despite that loss, they're rolling a 3.5 out there, saying there's no way Dallas can beat these guys. I disagree. And I think the fact that they're 1-3 in their last 4 straight up, to me, means we get to buy low. And look, it's not out of the realm of the price tag. When they get 4.5 points or give 4.5 points, they lose. Chicago, Sacramento Kings. They get 3.5, they're late 3.5 against the Nets, they win. This game falls into that profile of bounce back revenge opportunity with the points being scored out there. And if Markkanen's out, Markkanen's out. And oh, by the way, it's the best kind of out. I don't mean like a torn ACL. I mean, there's illness. Anytime we see illness rolling through a locker room, I like to get in the fade position on there. Even if the players do play, there's just a lot of disruption. Where's his water bottle? Make sure I don't drink out of it. You know the deal. And then last but not least, let's finish her off with this Hornets and Lakers game, you guys. Norma Ross says all of Dallas is out. Huh. Why is the line moving against him then? That's what I want to know. Let's take a look. Let's take a quick look. Oh, Cooper Flag is ruled out Thursday. Huh. I wish I could just see here's what their lineup looks like. And they don't do that until it gets too close. I think Durant goes off tonight, by the way, from a points perspective on that Rockets game. And I think the Rockets are a really good spot there too. Joel Embiid's listed as pro. This is fucked up. Can't get the exact roster lineup for the Dallas Mavericks, but I can tell you Joel Embiid's listed as probable for Friday. Really? All right. My guy Shark giving me a little text message there, giving a little player prop opportunity. All right, you guys, listen, the last game that I've got for the show, I'm going to take the Hornets. I'm going to take the +3.5 with the Charlotte Hornets. I live right next to Charlotte, so that always gets me because it is spelled exactly the same way. Game opens up here, and guess what? We got another one of them situationally ugly, close your nose type of spots out there. It opened at 4.5. Tons of money, tons of bets coming in on the Lakers right now. 70% of the bets, 71% of the cash. All coming in on the Lakers, and they moved it from 4.5 to 3.5. Totals moved up 2 points from 232.5 to 234.5. 78% of the bet, 77% of the cash on the over at the crypto.com arena. It's 7 o'clock on the dot, so we'll get right to it, you guys. I am taking these Charlotte Hornets. Look, they got the boys back, and they started kind of making some noise. Now, recent form, you could argue, no, not so much as they come back from the Christmas break out there. They're 1-3 in their last 4, but they did bust up that Utah Jazz team. 50.5 points on a 6.5. Now, we don't want to let it influence our situation out there, but they're 5-point dogs. They lost by 6 at the Clippers. They're still in LA. It's not quite the duplex spot, but it is a no travel situation. And the Lakers just smashed the Atlanta Hawks. So in terms of motivation and opportunities here, I think Charlotte's excited to come out there and play the LA Lakers. And, oh, by the way, Hornets on the road after a loss against a winning team are 12-5. They've won 4 straight. If that wasn't exciting enough, remember I talked about the Bucks after allowing 124 points? There's some of these metrics out there where, like, triggers to these players, you had a shit game. And the Hornets versus a team that scored over 120 points the previous game, guess what happens? They don't get out of the way and let them saunter their asses on in there and beat the shit out of them. They're 10-0, a perfect 10-0. It's only happened 10 times that they've allowed it, that they've played a team that scored over 120 points the previous game. And when they face the Hornets fuck. And I think that's exactly how we're going to put the bow on the show this evening. Give me the +3.5. Maybe the wrong team's favored in this spot as well. But that be the case, I think it's a fun opportunity for us to close the show with the Charlotte Hornets here. Make sure you guys check out the IG play of the day. Back-to-back W's out there. 9-4, I believe, since we started. It's all documented. You can see it all over there. You can see all the wins, and I go in there every single day. I missed one day that I didn't update with a winner. But I update them every day with a winner or loss. So on the way out the door, you guys, I want to thank you for watching the show. Hopefully you enjoyed it. And if you did enjoy it, make sure you hit that thumbs up button and tune back in tomorrow at 6 p.m. We got a busy day tomorrow. The morning steam pops off at 9 a.m. We're going to roll through, my guy Shark and I, around 2 p.m. to give you guys the NFL playoff divisional round breakdown from the Betting Blitz, the best damn football show on the planet, giving you guys winners after 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 winners, best bets, breakdowns, player prop sides, totals, and the like. And then I'll be back here at 6 p.m. to give you guys another version of pre-gaming, covering the Saturday card. Lots of MAAC action. I know that already. That means lots of unders. Until then, you guys, good luck with your betting. Get that cash.